We all lie, and we're all lied to. The liar might be looking you in the eye right now, or staring back at you from the mirror. Deception is woven into the everyday fabric of life, an unsettling truth we rarely admit to ourselves.
Look around you. Who is feeding you lies? Politicians polish their speeches with fiction. Advertisers sell dreams that they know their product can't fulfill. News outlets spin narratives to keep us hooked. Every day, voices in media and authority present carefully crafted illusions, and we willingly consume them. Now think of those closer to you. Is a friend or coworker telling you what you want to hear, not what they really think? Is a partner saying, "I'm fine," while hiding their hurt? Sometimes the subtlest liar is our own mind, whispering comforting falsehoods so we can sleep at night. We often prefer a reassuring lie to an uncomfortable truth, even in our private thoughts. Lies have shaped history and your own life more than you realize. They have started wars and ended relationships. A lie can build someone's fame or destroy someone's world. We live under the shadow of countless lies, big and small, seldom noticing how they manipulate our reality. Trust is broken, decisions are warped, and yet the liar often walks free. How common is lying? Research suggests extremely common. On average, people tell 1 or 2 lies each day. That's the baseline of our social life, daily deception. A casual, "I'm on my way" text when you haven't left yet. A fake excuse to get off the phone. Trivial lies slip off our tongues as easily as truth. Why do we do it? Often, it's to smooth over the rough edges of social life. White lies serve as social grease. We say, "Nice to see you," even if it's not. Or, "No, you don't look tired," when the truth would offend. We lie to be polite, to avoid conflict or hurt feelings. These small, everyday deceits are seen as kindness, justifiable, even virtuous, in a world that prefers a pretty illusion over a harsh reality. We even lie in our search for love. Studies show nearly 80% of people include lies or exaggerations in their dating profiles. A man might add a couple inches to his height. A woman might use an old filtered photo. Interests and lifestyles get embellished. Why? Because we believe the attractive lie will draw others in, while the plain truth might not. In romance, many people sell an edited version of themselves, hoping the fantasy is more lovable than the reality. Public life is no different. Political history is a gallery of infamous liars. In 1998, a US president looked straight into the camera and stated, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." Millions heard this confident lie before the truth exploded onto every front page. And that was hardly unique. Leaders around the world routinely bend truth for power. From denying affairs to fabricating reasons for war, the halls of power echo with well-crafted falsehoods. Corporations, too, are no strangers to deception. Recall the Volkswagen emissions scandal. For years, VW marketed clean diesel cars, boasting about low emissions. In reality, they had installed software to cheat emissions tests. The company's PR presented an eco-friendly image that was a complete lie. Once exposed, the facade crumbled. But until then, millions were duped by corporate smooth talk. It's a stark reminder that even the products we buy often come wrapped in lies. The media and advertising industries are built on carefully crafted illusions. Sensational headlines skew facts to grab attention. Photo editors airbrush away blemishes, selling us ideals of beauty that don't exist in nature. A commercial implies a perfume will make you irresistible. A news segment omits key context to drive a narrative. We are constantly fed stories that have been polished and packaged, hiding inconvenient truths. In a very real sense, deception is a business, and business is good. What do all these examples tell us? Deception isn't a rare glitch in human behavior. It is the norm. We inhabit a world of lies, often beautiful lies that we collectively accept. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche saw this clearly. To him, dishonesty lies at the core of human nature and society, not as an aberration, but as a foundation. Nietzsche didn't mince words. Deception, lying, putting up a false front, wearing a mask, is so much the rule and the law among men, he wrote, that a pure drive for truth is baffling to find. In other words, everyone wears a mask. Society, in Nietzsche's view, is built on a tacit agreement to pretend. We flatter each other, hide our vulnerabilities, and live in borrowed splendor, as he said. Appearances we polish for others and for ourselves. Think about your daily interactions. Someone asks, "How are you?" You smile and say, "I'm fine," even when you're falling apart inside. You meet a colleague and force a cordial, "Nice to meet you," though you instantly dislike them. We perform these little charades constantly. These polite lies and half-truths are the masks of civilization. They keep society running smoothly, sparing others from our raw feelings and sparing us from theirs. Honesty, especially about uncomfortable things, threatens to crack the social mask. So we uphold the collective pretense that everything is fine. Our whole civilization, then, is to some extent built on agreed-upon lies. We prefer comforting illusions over harsh realities whenever we can. As Nietzsche put it, "We possess art lest we perish of the truth." Beautiful falsehoods, in art, in culture, in our personal lives, act as a soothing balm on the wounds of reality. We create uplifting stories, idealized heroes, and promises of happily ever after because the unvarnished truth often feels unbearable. These lies can be benevolent, even inspiring, but they are lies nonetheless, keeping us from seeing life's full, unfiltered picture. Philosophers long before Nietzsche understood this. In Plato's Republic, the concept of the noble lie is introduced, a falsehood knowingly propagated by leaders to maintain social harmony. Plato suggested that sometimes people need to believe a beautiful myth about their society's origins or their place in the world. Such beliefs might not be true, but they bond society together and motivate people in positive ways. This is the mask of civilization at the grandest scale. Whole nations unified by shared fictions. It's a strategy rulers have used throughout history, and it underlines an uncomfortable fact. Sometimes, society runs on lies because the truth is too dangerous or divisive. Let's be honest. Most people would rather hear a pleasant lie than a hard truth. A friend telling you everything will be okay when you're in trouble, even if they have no guarantee. That lie is often welcomed. Flattery and sugarcoating are socially rewarded. We gravitate towards those who affirm us, who say what we want to hear. Telling the blunt truth, by contrast, can make someone quite unpopular. As long as the lie is attractive and comforting, society smiles upon the liar. In fact, we often collude in our own deception. Have you ever ignored an obvious lie because accepting it was easier than facing reality? Many do. A spouse might overlook signs of infidelity, swallowing their doubts because admitting the truth would shatter their world. An employee might pretend not to notice their boss's unethical behavior to avoid jeopardizing their career. We sometimes want to be lied to. If a falsehood smooths our lives or validates our hopes, we'll often play along. The harsh truth, by contrast, could force us to change or to feel pain, so we stick our heads in the sand. It's willful self-delusion, a silent pact between liar and lied to. I'll believe you if it keeps me comfortable. No wonder Niccolò Machiavelli, observing human nature, concluded, One who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. People are simple and prone to wishful thinking. The deceiver merely offers what we secretly want to believe. A charismatic liar with a pleasing story will always find an audience. We see it in cult leaders with devoted followers, in populist politicians whose obvious falsehoods are embraced by throngs because they are sweet to the ears. The lie succeeds not just because of the liar's skill, but because of the listener's willingness. We let ourselves be fooled. What about those who dare to tell the uncomfortable truth? Society often punishes them. Take Socrates, who in ancient Athens insisted on speaking inconvenient truths and challenging false pieties. He was executed for it. Or Galileo, who revealed the truth that the earth moves around the sun. He was condemned and silenced for defying the comfortable lie that man occupied the cosmic center. History shows time and again. The whistleblowers of the world, the heretics, the truth-tellers, often suffer while charming liars prosper. Consider the parable of the emperor's new clothes. An entire kingdom pretended to see the monarch's fabulous but non-existent outfit, rather than admit the truth that he was parading naked. Only a child, too naive to understand the social niceties, blurted out what everyone secretly knew. The emperor has no clothes. In that moment, the spell broke. The story illustrates how powerful collective lies can be, and how dangerous it feels to speak an obvious truth that no one else is willing to say. We laugh at the foolish courtiers in the tale. Yet how often have we ourselves played along with a lie because everyone else did? In modern times, we have whistleblowers and truth-tellers who meet a kind of social crucifixion. A government official exposes corruption or surveillance lies and ends up exiled or imprisoned. A journalist uncovers corporate fraud and faces vicious smear campaigns. Even on a personal level, if you confront a friend with a painful truth about their behavior, you risk anger and ostracism. Society often shoots the messenger because the message hurts. We claim to value honesty, but often reward the lie and retaliate against the truth. Charming liars become leaders, while blunt truth-tellers are shunned, a perverse reality, but a recurring one. So, in a world awash in lies and illusions, how can you spot a liar, instantly or otherwise? Is it even possible to pierce the mask and see the truth underneath? Surprisingly, there are clues, if you know where to look. The body often betrays the deceit. The face, the voice, the words chosen. A lie can leak through all of these channels. Science and psychology have studied this, and while no method is foolproof, they've found patterns. To detect a lie, you first need a baseline for someone's normal behavior, how they act when they're truthful. Then watch for deviations across 4 areas: body language, facial expression, tone of voice, and the content of their speech. It's in these cracks that the truth peeks out. Lying is hard work. The mind of the liar is juggling a dozen balls at once, concocting the story, maintaining it, gauging your reaction, and keeping their real feelings under wraps. This mental overload often shows up in their nonverbal behavior. For instance, liars' hand gestures can become out of sync with their words. A truth-teller might gesture naturally as they speak, but a liar's hands often lag a moment behind their speech. Their mind is so busy fabricating that their body's timing slips. They may even unconsciously try to hide their hands, shoving them in pockets or locking them down, as if to literally hold back information. Pay attention to the body. A liar often can't completely control their physical reactions. They might fidget more than usual, shuffling feet, rocking slightly, or scratching and rubbing their skin. These can be signs of nervous energy and stress. In fact, fluctuations in the autonomic nervous system the stress response, can trigger tingling or itching sensations. The person lying feels a sudden need to adjust their position or touch their face, an unconscious attempt to dissipate the discomfort. They might also engage in grooming behaviors, smoothing their hair, straightening clothes, small self-soothing actions that often increase when someone is being dishonest. The face is a liar's worst enemy, especially the eyes. There's a myth that liars can't maintain eye contact, but reality is more complicated. Some liars do avert their gaze at critical moments, eyes flicking away as they think of what to say next. Others overcompensate and stare too much, striving to appear sincere. A study of high-stakes lies found that 70% of people lying maintain strong, direct eye contact, more than truth-tellers. That unblinking stare can actually be a red flag, a performance of honesty that feels just a bit too intense. Beyond the eyes, the face may leak micro-expressions, fleeting emotions that flash and vanish in a split second. A person might plaster on a polite smile while lying, but a masking smile can't perfectly hide what's underneath. Careful observers have caught liars displaying a brief flicker of fear, or a corner of the mouth twitching up in a smug smirk. What deception experts call duping delight. In one analysis of people pleading on camera for missing loved ones, some of whom had actually harmed those loved ones, those who were lying showed subtle tells: a momentary smile at an inappropriate time, or an expression of fake grief that didn't fully engage their face. The truth was struggling to break through the mask. Watch the mouth as well. When someone is lying, they often get the urge to literally shut their lips. They may press their lips together or purse them after speaking, as if to prevent any more truth from slipping out. Rolling the lips inward until they nearly disappear is a common sign of holding back facts or feelings. If you ask a sensitive question and see the person's mouth tighten or retract, it could be that they're withholding the real answer. It's an instinctive physical reflex. The body symbolically closes off communication. A liar's complexion and skin reactions can also give them away. Have you ever noticed someone go pale when confronted? It happens when stress diverts blood away from the face. A lying person might suddenly lose color or, conversely, flush red with a blush of guilt. Sweat is another telltale sign. Beads of perspiration forming on the forehead or upper lip as the person's anxiety rises. Dry mouth and eyes often accompany this stress response, leading to more frequent swallowing, throat clearing, or rapid blinking. These physiological reactions are hard to fake and even harder to fully control. Next, consider the voice. When we lie, our voice can betray us by shifting in pitch and tone. Lying is stressful, and that tightens the vocal cords. A liar's voice may suddenly jump to a higher pitch. You might also hear a crack in their voice or an uncharacteristic stammer as their throat constricts. Some liars try to compensate by speaking louder or more forcefully, a defensive reflex. If you notice someone's volume rising unexpectedly, I am telling the truth. It could be a sign of inner tension. The voice under strain often reveals the strain of lying. Finally, pay attention to the content of their speech, the words, and how they deliver them. Liars often add unnecessary phrases like honestly, to tell the truth, or believe me. When someone is truly truthful, they don't need to insist on their honesty. The overemphasis can be a clue that they're trying a bit too hard. Another thing to note is filler words, like. Deceptive individuals use more verbal fillers as they mentally scramble for a story. These little pauses and verbal tics buy time while they fabricate or adjust their lie on the fly. Sometimes, liars will accidentally reveal the truth in their words before catching themselves. They might say, "I was at the bar with Mike, I was working late. Such self-corrections can be a smoking gun, or they might give inconsistent details. Earlier, they said they drove straight home. Later, they mentioned stopping for gas. These slip-ups and contradictions are golden clues. Because inventing a false story is complex, details often don't add up perfectly. A liar may trip over the narrative, exposing reality for a moment before trying to cover it up. Let's imagine a scenario. You ask your partner why they came home so late. Their words tell a plausible story. Got held up at work, lots of meetings. But as they speak, you notice their body shifts nervously, and they avoid looking at you during the most crucial part of the tale. Their voice cracks slightly when you ask a pointed question, and in that moment you catch a fleeting, inappropriate smile, as if they're amused or relieved. One sign alone might mean nothing, but when multiple cues align, an uneasy posture, a strained voice, an off facial expression, and a story that has tiny inconsistencies, the alarm bells should ring. It's as if their unconscious is betraying them in surround sound. The truth leaks out through tone, gesture, and micro-expression, even as they try to maintain the lie. It's important to note, however, that these signs are not foolproof. Human behavior is complex. A person might fidget or look away for reasons having nothing to do with lying. They could be anxious or shy or simply formulating their thoughts. Likewise, some practiced liars can control many of these signals, and honest people can get flustered and appear suspect. Experts warn that there is no single Pinocchio's nose, no guaranteed giveaway gesture or tell. Reading lies is about patterns and context, not certainties. You must consider baseline behavior and look for clusters of red flags. In short, be cautious. Detecting deception is an art, not an exact science. There is one kind of liar especially difficult to catch. The person who has lied to themselves so well that they almost believe their own story. Self-deception is perhaps the most insidious form of lying. A liar who convinces themselves that their lie is true will exhibit fewer of the stress signals we've discussed. After all, in their mind, they aren't lying. This is where deception and psychology intertwine in a disturbing way. We've seen dramatic examples of this in recent years. The media has been filled with people who lived a lie. Think of Elizabeth Holmes, the biotech entrepreneur who built a billion-dollar company on a false promise, all the while projecting unwavering confidence. Or Anna Sorokin, alias Anna Delvey, who convinced New York's elite she was a wealthy heiress while she was anything but. Or the so-called Tinder swindler, Simon Leviev, who defrauded women by pretending to be a rich, loving jet-setter. These fraudsters not only lied to others, they lied to themselves. By many accounts, they acted as though they truly believed their own fabrications, carrying themselves with such conviction that others believed them too. Yet self-deception isn't limited to criminals and con artists. It's incredibly common in everyday life. Think about the little lies you've told yourself. I have everything under control, when you don't. I'll start the diet next week, though you never do. They didn't text back, but I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. We reassure ourselves with convenient narratives. We rationalize our bad habits, inflate our accomplishments, and explain away others' bad behavior to avoid difficult truths. We all do this to some extent, polishing the mirror of our self-image so we don't have to confront cracks. Why do we deceive ourselves? Often, it's to protect our ego and maintain a positive self-image. Self-deception lets us do wrong or foolish things, but keep seeing ourselves as good, smart, or in the right. It protects our self-images, allowing us to act immorally while maintaining a clear conscience. In other words, Lying to ourselves is a defense mechanism. It blunts guilt and shame. The student who cheats on an exam might quickly tell himself, "Everyone cheats a little, it's no big deal," thereby avoiding a damaging view of himself as dishonest. This way, he can lie without feeling like a liar. Some researchers even argue that self-deception evolved because it gives us an edge in deceiving others. If you truly believe your own lies, you'll be more convincing when you tell them. According to the latest research, self-deception may have evolved to help us persuade others. If we start believing our own lies, it's much easier to get other people to believe them too. A liar who isn't plagued by guilt or hesitation will display more calm and confidence, those very qualities that put an audience at ease. Thus, self-deception can make one a more effective liar outwardly. It's a chilling thought. The most convincing liar is the one who has lied to himself first. After exploring all this, we come to a paradoxical realization. The real secret to spotting liars starts with spotting the lies within yourself. Truth, real truth. Detection is an inside job. Think of it this way. If your own mind is clouded with comforting illusions and self-deceit, you'll be an easy target for external lies. But if you commit to honesty with yourself, you sharpen your ability to see through the deceits of others. Clarity of perception begins at home. Long ago, Plato warned, the worst of all deceptions is self-deception. How can it not be? When the deceiver and the deceived are the same person, yourself, you carry the liar with you always. You can never escape. This makes self-deception a constant threat to genuine understanding. It's terrible precisely because it's so intimate. You can lock out outside liars, but if you're lying to yourself, who will confront you? Fyodor Dostoevsky echoed this insight, writing, "Above all, don't lie to yourself. The man who lies to himself and listens to his own lie comes to a point that he cannot distinguish the truth within him or around him. If you keep lying to yourself, eventually you lose the ability to tell what's true and what's false, even in the world outside. Everything becomes distorted through the lens of your own delusions. Thus, regaining an honest internal lens is crucial. It's only when you stop your own self-lies that you can clearly see the lies others tell you. Facing the truth about yourself can be uncomfortable, even downright painful. It means admitting your flaws, your failures, the things you don't like about your life. It's much easier to continue believing the convenient narratives. I'm fine. It's all their fault. I couldn't have done anything differently. Stripping those away can feel like standing naked under a cold, harsh light. The truth can be terrifying. It can leave you feeling exposed and vulnerable. It's okay to acknowledge that fear. We've all felt it. Waking up from a long-cherished lie is like emerging from a cozy dream into chilly reality. And yet, the truth, however painful, is also power. When you face reality as it is, you can actually deal with it. Knowledge arms you, ignorance leaves you defenseless. Yes, the light of truth may hurt your eyes at first, but it allows you to navigate your life deliberately instead of stumbling in the dark. In a world full of manipulation, clarity is freedom. Being truthful with yourself gives you an inner compass. It grounds you so that others cannot so easily gaslight or sway you. As the saying goes, the truth will set you free, even if it may upset you first. Now, armed with understanding, you have a choice. You can ignore all this, shrug and say, "Everybody lies. It's just how it is," and sink back into the pleasant fog of unawareness. That is one path. To let the lies be. To perhaps continue believing a few comforting ones of your own and carry on as before. Many do exactly that. It's the easier road in the short term, or you can choose the harder path. To keep your eyes open, to pay attention to the little inconsistencies, to the masks people wear, and to your own reflections in the mirror. This means discomfort at times. It means giving up the naive comfort of certain illusions. But if you stay awake to the truth, you gain something precious. You gain agency over your own life. You won't be so easily fooled by sweet words or false promises. You'll recognize the lies outside and inside, and you'll be able to confront them with clear eyes. If you close your eyes now, if you slip back into the warm, safe dream of beautiful lies, you'll wake up later in a life built on sand. You'll find that ignorance doesn't protect you. It just leaves you blindsided by reality eventually. Stay asleep, and you simply hand your power to the liars and the fictions. You let others write your story. But if you stay awake, if you resolve to live in truth, no matter how unsettling, you become the author of your own story. You reclaim control. You'll see the world for what it is, both its ugly parts and its hidden beauties, and navigate it with eyes wide open. Yes, it requires courage to reject comforting lies, but with that courage comes a profound freedom. You won't dance as a puppet to lies anymore. Truth, once confronted and embraced, empowers you. Clarity becomes your shield and your guiding light. So, now that you've peeked behind the mask of deception, the final question is a personal one. Now that you see the game for what it is, how will you play? Will you retreat into the easy comforts of denial? Or will you step forward armed with honesty? The decision lies with you, as it always has. The truth is there, waiting, if you're brave enough to face it.